This is part 5 of the video series, and we finally got to the point where we can start addressing the issue at hand, which are leaky valves. Alright, my approach at this point is going to be a little different than what I've done in the past. Since we have everything all opened up here, it's going to be very easy to hook a leak down tester to these heads as is on the block, and then test for the amount of leakage that we have, not only through the intake valves but also the exhaust valves. So my plan here is to remove all the rocker arms and the push rods. That should leave the valves fully closed, independent of the position of the cam. Then we can put the leak down into each of these cylinders and then test for the leakage. And then just the opposite, when we have all the valves cleaned up and we put the heads back on, I'll do this again, and that way we'll have a baseline to compare to when we do the test again. Once the heads are off, I plan on doing a wet test as well, where I'll flip the heads upside down and then put a liquid in where the valves and then test for leakage. And I'll do that also both before and after cleaning up the valves. Before we begin removing the rocker arms and the push rods, it's a good idea to label them all so you can make sure they go back into the same place. Also a good idea to have some kind of organizing tray like this to place them once they're out. But don't rely just on this. If this were to fall over or spill, then you would not know. So definitely label them all. Fortunately, all my rocker arms are still labeled here from when I previously had the motor apart. Alright, I like to crank all of these loose before I take them off with an impact. Some of these will still have a spring load on them. This is 13 mm, by the way. Okay, I've set up a leak down tester here, and got the controller here, and I did put some tape on both the intake side, including the port here where the fuel injector is, trying to seal it up as much as possible, and then also down here on the exhaust side. And just to show you that if the valve's leaking, you're going to see this protrude and move outward, and you're going to hear it too. So anyway, let's turn this on, and we'll move it up to around 40 psi. And you can see we have significant leakage. In fact, I can feel it blowing back here. Yeah, significant on the exhaust. I'm pushing down here. I can feel it bulging out, really significant. Lots of flow here. It's coming out all over the place. So anyway, at 40, we got about 40% leak down. If I pull this off, I'm sure it's going to get even worse. Yeah, you can put down a little bit there. And yeah, so at 40 psi we have 40% leak down through the intake and exhaust valves. Okay, previously I had it hooked up to cylinder 4. Now I have it hooked up to cylinder number 5. And 5 and number 2 were the ones that had the least compression. So I'm expecting this to be a little bit worse. So let's crank this back up to 40 and see how much leak down we have. surprisingly enough, that's actually a little better. I don't know why. But still, pretty bad. One thing to note here is I feel nothing coming out of the exhaust side. It's all coming out of the intake side. So the intake valve on cylinder 5 is definitely bad. Whereas on cylinder number 4, it was coming out both the exhaust and the intake. Alright, now we're on number 6, so let's see how this goes. Wow, that's really high there. We got pretty good. So let's find out where it's coming out of. Definitely intake here. And a little bit on the exhaust. But yeah, definitely much better than the other two. Alright, now we're on cylinder number 1. Let's see how this goes. Much better. As I get up to 40, I'm totally maxed out. Let's see if we can feel where it's coming from. Actually, I feel nothing coming out of the intake. Nothing. So, and just a tiny bit out of the exhaust. Alright, cylinder number 2, here we go. Definitely much worse, and we knew that was a bad one. So there's 40 psi. This looks like it may be the absolute worst. And oh yeah, tons and tons of air coming out of the intake, and then nothing detectable on the exhaust. So that's all intake on number 2. All right, last one, number 3. Let's see how this goes. There's 40 psi. We have significant leak down there, and definitely coming out of exhaust, or I mean intake, and ever so slightly out of the exhaust. But we have a good baseline as to how bad our leaking problem is. We can go ahead and start pulling the heads off. The head studs here, they're 15 mm. However, these lower ones, the header studs are in the way and you can't get to the bolt. So we're going to have to pull that off, these little studs off first. And again, that's just a 5 mm on the end of the stud here, and then we can just twist them off. Alright, when you're pulling the bolts for the cylinder head, you want to do this very slow, and then crack them just a little bit, starting from the ends and working the way in, and then just keep repeating that process. We don't want to stress or keep any stress on any part of the cylinder head, because you could potentially warp the head. So just try to take these off as evenly as possible. So we'll start here on the end. Just break them loose a little bit. Just barely get started. And just work our way back and forth. Okay, now after working back and forth a series of times, I've got all the head bolts loose. You could undo them by finger at this point. So I'm just going to start pulling them all. And these bolts are torque to yield, so they're a one-time use. There's two different sizes. There's long and short. The long ones go on the top, and short ones on the bottom there. Okay, now hopefully this head will lift off. And it did, and they got a ton of coolant there. Okay, that's going to take a while to clean up. Alright, now that we have the head off, let's just check to make sure that we still got a nice flat surface here. This here is just a 1/1000th filler gauge. And yeah, this still looks really good, so we didn't damage it either putting it on or pulling it off. Yeah. Perfect. The passenger side head off, I've already pre-loosened these bolts. I'll just pull them off quickly with the electric ratchet. Well, before I go any further on the valve issue, I thought this would be a good time to address my leak with the transmission dipstick tube. You can see it's leaking right there where the dipstick tube comes into the pan, and it should just need a new O-ring. Hopefully that'll take care of my issue there. The dipstick tube, let's see if we can see here. Yeah, difficult to see, but there's one bolt holding it on. It's a bell housing bolt. So I'll just need to undo that one bolt, and then I should be able to pull this tube out. Alright, the transmission dipstick tube is fastened to the bell housing right there. So it's just that one bolt we need to take off, and then we should just be able to pull the tube out. Dipstick tube, there's about 6 quarts of transmission fluid that is above the pan where the tube goes into, so it could potentially leak out 6 quarts of transmission fluid, which is very expensive and very messy. So my hopes is to replace the tube with one of these stoppers as soon as I pull it out while I put the new O-ring on the tube. Alright, here we go. Oh God, oh God, it's a mess. It's bad, it's bad. Oh, no. There we go. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, pictured here is the new and old O-ring. The new one is on the left and the old one is on the right. The right one is very hard, and you can tell it looks like it's expanded. When you replace this, don't replace it with just a regular rubber O-ring or a neoprene. Get the Viton one directly from Ford. The transmission fluid will destroy a regular rubber O-ring. So use the OEM one here. Alright, I'm going to attempt to do this as quickly as possible. This way to go in. And pull it and there we go. Come on, get in there. The new O-ring is a lot tighter than the old one. Come on. Oh. There we go. We got it. Well, once again, that's all the time I have for today. In the next video, we'll go ahead and pull the valves from the head and clean those up and do some of the valve lapping and reassemble it, and then test again for leaks, and hopefully we'll see an improvement. Till then, see you next time.